My name is Sarah. I'm working with Telefónica here in Germany for 6-7 years already. And I was part of the very first project, chatbot project. We started in 2016. And I will go into a whole story and journey later on. But what I'm doing today is that within this very short period of time, beginning of 2016, now I'm responsible for all customer-facing Conversational AI initiative and process automation within customer service. So that's my current role, but I'm here as Sarah, but I'm also representing a huge team that has been working with a lot of energy, with a lot of passion the last couple of years, and especially the last year with Artificial Solutions together to bring our vision to life. And how we started to slowly create our vision and what we have done so far. So I'd like to introduce you to our histories and factors of success. And then last but not least, I'd like to show a little bit or a sneak peek on what we are focusing on, what are our priorities, and what the team is currently working on to achieve until the end of the year. So what was the starting point? This headline actually says, readers talking about their struggle with O2, and it is a catastrophe. And it was really a service crisis we were facing. A lot of customers tried to call us, and besides the long waiting times, additionally to that, they found inconsistent information, and long waiting times was one, but also not knowing what to do and how to solve their issue was one of the biggest pain points our customers had. And last but not least is because we had these issues and we knew that some of our customers had to wait longer than 30 minutes in our hotline, is that we forced them to use digital channels and solutions. We made one of the big mistakes we made was say we have digital channels and we need to focus on them without having a closer look. So we just assumed that by providing a technology that this is enough and that our customers can solve their issues by themselves on the digital solution we just offered. And we just, like maybe even in an arrogant way, saying, oh, the technology is there. So why are they not using the technology we are providing? So that's why we created a big vision. And we want to have a universal and centralized conversational AI because we want to go further than simply the idea of digitalization of static FAQs. And we want to go further than just keeping the customers away from the hotline. So we launched Aura with Telefónica Global together. And what we wanted to create was a true omnichannel experiences. So that Aura is implemented in all channels, has the same name, the same tone of voice, the same use cases. So tackling the issue of inconsistent information. And we really wanted to create a truly personalized experience for customer service and also for sales topics. That sounds pretty big. So when we created this vision a couple years back, we had this super nice, fancy, glossy idea. And even the forecast by Gartner, by like all the studies, forecast that voice bots and chatbots will define the future of customer service. At this point, we were still really, really far away from achieving this goal. So that's why I said, okay, we need to step back. So we have the vision, we know what our future customer service looks like and what we want to achieve, but we need to break it down. And we created 4 pillars. We said, okay, the very first one is using natural language understanding in all channels. So we said, okay, we want Aura to learn the language of the humans and the customers so that customers don't need to learn the language of machines. And what's really important here at this point is that you need the right experts. It's not only about defining what the customer says, but there's a really technological and a psychology element behind it in order to use natural language understanding. And therefore, we, as Telefónica, we partnered up with Microsoft as a global unit that we say we use Microsoft Lewis for natural language understanding. And for us, this was really beneficial that we can now use Microsoft, or the benefits of Microsoft LUIS and Teneo in a combination to really enhance this topic and rise on this fundamental pillar that we created here first. The second one is the topic of answers in real time. So we have our customers that still, or they're struggling with opening hours, and they want their answers solved, or their issues solved whenever they have time and not when we are available. And how is this possible? By scaling up a virtual agent that never sleeps. The third pillar is personalized experiences. So I just said, so if I have an issue, and that's how all customers approach us, they have a personal issue and a personal topic that they want to be solved, and that only works by talking to me, using my authentication process, and then accessing my personal data, because otherwise I can read a static FAQ. And last but not least is to have an omnichannel experience, so that our virtual agent is integrated in all relevant customer service channels, and so that I can even start my journey in one of my preferred channels and then maybe switch to another one. That's still pretty big. So we have the 4 pillars, and now everyone is hooked and really want to start working on the topic, and it would be great if it's there tomorrow. But that's actually not how it worked. It's not the case that you can bring it to life from one day to another. And here you can see our journey. So we have in total, you can see 9 years of experience with the topic of conversational AI. We started with our very first intelligent voice recognition with the E+ group. So it was long before the Telefónica and E+ merger. We started with the first IVR with Nuance. So we gained our first experiences. We implemented the IVR, and that was an ongoing project, because we know we have to do it. We have to offer some services and some intelligent routing. So there was always a streamline of our IVR project. And then in parallel, what we started was 2017. We implemented our first chatbot with a startup called eBot7. And then really soon you can see what happened. Like each year we went through a next milestone. We launched Aura with Telefónica Global, already using LUIS from Microsoft in the Facebook Messenger. Then we launched Aura in the web client. So now we're evolving from one chatbot project to really conversational AI. And now we are covering slowly each channel by channel. And you can see that we were not brave enough to tackle voice yet. And then at some point in 2020, we said, okay, we need to find our right technology. We need to find a right partner. And that's how we found Artificial Solutions and Teneo. And then that was the milestone and turnaround where we said, okay, now we can really aim for our omnichannel experience, that we really integrate Aura in all channels, because the hotline is one of the main customer service channels still. And even when more customers transferring to digital channels, we said, okay, we need the right partner and the right technology for that. And that's where we're really happy that we were able to find Artificial Solutions and to implement Teneo that fast, that we can today, and by the end of 2022, can say that Aura will be integrated in all relevant customer service channels by the end of the year. Long history. 9 years. So what were the main challenges? So I had a long list and I just had to pick 3. And the 2 biggest ones in the topic of silos is that we always had a stream focusing on text and we had a stream focusing on voice. And we had 2 different project managers on the topic, and they tried to talk to each other, but it was always 2 different projects. The second one was we did have a split between the business requirements and the technology teams. That was also how we've worked in the past. And I think there's no shame in it in talking about it, that we were not that agile 6 years ago. And there was 2 topics we had to tackle with the new project setup. The second one was that the skills were not available internally. So that was the second topic. And the third one external dependencies. I think, especially in big corporations, there are always big initiatives and transformation programs. But once you come to the pillar of personalized data, it's not that simple. You cannot be in your own cosmos, in your own context, just looking at your own application. You need to be integrated in the whole in architecture and the whole infrastructure, and having dependencies to other applications to receive your personalized data. So, and what did we learn? So I'd like to highlight, but at some point you need to choose your future-proof technology, and not only the technology, but the right partner. So what we did in RFI and RFQ, we went through millions of requirements and Excel sheets and presentation rounds. And we are so happy that we partnered up with Artificial Solutions, because we have not only integrated the technology. So we wanted to avoid the mistake we made a couple of years back, saying technology is the only key factor and then everything is smooth and up and running. But you need a partner to talk through, to talk about your vision, to talk about your use cases and your challenges. You need someone you can trust, and you work together on a vision that you're aiming for. So that was a crucial part for us, and for this, within a year, to come to this vision that we've created so many years ago, to achieve it within 1.5 years. I think that's one of the biggest milestones, and where I also like to highlight what the team has done, but the team with Artificial Solutions together. I want to give you a short overview of what we've achieved so far. So we have almost 1 million monthly voice users interacting with Aura every single day, and over 200,000 monthly active user in our text-based channels. So these are two channels for text. It's WhatsApp and it's the web portal. We have more than 400 generic use cases, and we have roughly 20 personalized use cases where the customer can identify and authenticate himself to access his personalized data. And we receive real-time customers' feedback. And for sure, there is, I don't want to lie to you, there are a lot of improvements, and there are a lot of customers that still only want to talk to a human agent, but there's a lot of positive feedback that gives you the motivation and the push that you're running into the right direction. So factors of success. So cross-functional team is the first one, customer centricity the second, and data-driven understanding. So what does it mean? In the first one, combination or our tribe setup. And in this tribe setup, we don't have pure technical teams and pure business teams, but customer service and sales and technology we're taking on this responsibility forward together. So we have two sponsors. So we not only have a business sponsor, but we also have a technology sponsor thing together. And in this team structure, we have our agile teams. And that was crucial for us to start to bring all the initiatives together, getting away from text and voice, separate projects, and only one project lead. We joined in a tribe structure, and we don't have only one tribe lead, but we have a tribe leadership team to drive the decisions together and make the decisions together, and so that you don't have only one perspective on the topic. Second part, customer centricity. We approach the topic from the idea that technology must serve people and not the other way around. And coming from these ethical guidelines, we jump into our personas, and now we're just focusing on the end customers. And we really need to understand who is interacting with Aura. So they're not only differ in what they bought and what kind of the subscription they have, but they also differ in their behavior. They differ in their way of talking or their way of texting, and they differ in their expectation how to interact within customer service journeys. And that brings us to the topic that we feel responsible for the digital transformation of our customers' mindset. So the market is increasing. We have Artificial Solutions, one of the biggest players in the market. There's Microsoft with Lewis, and there are multiple different players out there implementing, launching, developing new features, new platforms, and it's constantly evolving. We're constantly talking about roadmap. We're already talking about features we want to implement next year, and then we still see what we already implemented Udo is not using. So we need to observe our customers, and then it's us, and we are like in the middle. We are implementing what's there on the market, and then on the other side we have our customers, and their behavior transition can be really different. Like we can have customers speeding with us, and they're expecting to launch everything what's on there in the market, and they have Alexa and Google Home already interacting with them every single day. And but we need to take care of all of them. So maybe some of our customers are slower than others, and that's okay. So we defined ourselves as being responsible as Telefónica, and especially as the team, Conversational AI Tribe, so that we can actively shape this adoption of our customers with AI bots and become their partner on their personal journey, on their personal digital journey. The whole customer service idea, we want to change ourselves, especially ourselves. And for sure, as Telefónica in the German market, we don't want to only be a fast follower. We want to become a first mover, and we strongly believe that this is possible with the current setup and with artificial solutions. So what comes next? So we really want to focus on multi-channel capabilities and features. So I just mentioned that Aura goes live by the end of the year in all channels, and that we really aim for this true omnichannel experience. What does it mean? It's not only implementing Aura in all the channels, but also that we can switch between channels back and forth depending on the customer's expectations. And the second one is regarding the customer satisfaction. So we want to implement new KPIs, because we have the KPIs, business case driven, but talking about the personas, talking about the customers, we really need to, or we really want to improve the design, improve the journeys, and maybe even personalize this per customer, per persona. And if I can give you 3 tips, I would firstly say that's quality versus quantity. Team setup, I think that's crucial, saying, okay, even if you don't have the right skills yet, you can develop them. We have former call center human agents now becoming conversational designers. So we are creating new job positions, new skills, and we are developing them. And then last but not least, talk about it. For us today, it's a premiere that we are talking about our project outside in the open, but I have done it for years now internally. Opportunity, and now share our experience, but especially get into the dialogue with you, look at your questions and learn from you. Yeah, so that's what I've prepared for today.